So here we're going to look at the Soccerstato software. This is going to be a series of videos as the features in this program are too numerous to cover in one short video. So we're going to work you through the software over time so that you get the best of it and learn the true power of it, not only as a research tool but as a betting tool. It has changed the way I do things, and it truly is quite amazing what it can do. There is nothing like it out there at all, and it will enable you to spot opportunities, build systems and generate things for yourself over time that you use in your football betting that you probably haven't even considered before. So the first video today we're going to focus on just the basics, and hopefully you've downloaded the software to start your trial. And this opens the interface that we've got here. On the left hand side this will populate with Betfair markets, and on the right hand side this will populate with your statistics. So the first thing that we do is log into the software. So we go File, Log In, and it is your Betfair details that go in here. So Betfair username goes in that box, and the Betfair password goes in that box. So you would just put those in and log in, and that would take you into the interface. So here I am now. I've logged into the user interface. It's still blank, and I'm going to start adding my information that I want to for the day. So the first thing that I do is I go back to the file menu and I load the coupon. Now this is going to generate a coupon from Betfair, so I just click that and I can select the date that I want. So if I wanted to work in advance, if I wanted to do Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday games, I could change the date here. So we can see it's Tuesday the 3rd. I'm going to select that date, so I'm loading today's actual coupon and I'm going to click OK, and that now has brought up all the events on Betfair football that are being played today. There. We now have a tab at the top. You can all filter them by start time if you wish to, and the all events, in-play events or non-in-play events. I tend to focus on in-play football, as most of you know, so I would select in-play events from that, and that now gives me all the in-play games that are on the Betfair coupon today. And you can see we've got things from Mero Liga East, the Turkish Cup, Youth League, going right down through the day till we get to this evening, where we've got some championship games in the UK, Northern Challenge Cup, and there's a Premier League game at 8 o'clock with Crystal Palace and West Ham. So that is the Betfair coupon for the day loaded up. My next step now would be, I want to look at and populate this side of the table. You can see when I click on a game, nothing's happening over here. There's no information loaded up. So I need to load some statistics into the software so that I can start to look at what I want to look at. So I go to my load button and I hit statistics, and all the basic ones are in there. We'll get into the systems and things in future videos showing you how to do it, but I've got 96 teams, so I've got 48 in-play matches, and I just click the OK button and all the statistics for these games now start to load up. You can see the green bar running across there, and that's nearly completed. So it's going and getting all the statistics for these games. Now most of you will use sites like Football 24, Soccerstats, where the games and the statistics that they cover are usually the last 6, last 8, last 10. On Soccerstato you can see we go back 50 games. So we go back 50 games for all these teams, wherever they are. And they've got all the results. If I wanted to look at a result, so if we went to a game that I would be more familiar with, so I would go down to, let's say, the Championship, Sheffield Wednesday Leicester. You can see how the stats have changed now. The home team at the top, Leicester at the bottom. Leicester played and lost to Blackpool on the 30th of the 11th. If I just double click that game, it opens up that window, tells me the information that I would be able to get off other sites, but I've got it all in one screen, so I can load up that and see that Blackpool beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. There were the goals, red cards would show up. Anything that I wanted to see for any of these games, QPR Bournemouth changes it to QPR Bournemouth, going back 50 games. Now I can change these settings, and you'll see in your user manual, I can change them here. If I wanted to go back 50 games, recent results on the stats, I can change that number up to 50 games. I can do head-to-head results. I can change what time I wanted to look at late goals, for example, there, and I've got dates there. So everything can be changed just in your general settings there. Click in settings on the first page that I want to do. So I've changed that to 50 for the goal stats. I click OK, it quickly runs through, and now all these other tabs, which we'll come to now, are populated with information based on these results games from there. So I would go on goals, and I've got the QPR game versus Bournemouth up, and now I can see a whole load of detailed information again based on the last 50 games. You can see 15, 35 add up to 50, so I can see there for QPR versus Bournemouth, QPR have had 20 games under 1.5, 30 games over 1.5, 33 games under 2.5, 17 games over 2.5, 42 games under 3.5, 8 games over 3.5, and that relates to a percentage there, and it's all there for you to see in one screen. No having to go and count up matches, no looking at multiple sites. I can click on any game on here that I want. Turkish Cup, the teams change at the top and the stats appear for me. So we've got clean sheets. You can set the goal time to whatever you want. You can see that I've got 70 minutes, and I'll come to that in a later video on systems. Some of you know that I will like to work in the last 20 minutes of matches. I've got when the goals were scored. So all that information is there, 50 games for whatever match is on the in-play coupon that day. So obviously we've got a lot of games there, a lot of statistics. So an area that I would like to look at now, I'm not interested in some of these smaller leagues. So I can filter my coupon, and I can go here and I can filter it by countries and leagues. So this is all the games that are being played today. So I can just deselect everything and think, right, I actually only want to look at what's being played in England, and I want to look at the Barclays Premier League, I want to look at the Championship, and that will do for England. Is there anything going on in France? There's a League One game, that'll interest me, so I can go there. Germany, German Cup, not really interested in that. Italy, Italian Cup, nothing there. Netherlands, no. Scotland, there's a couple of League One and League Two matches, so I'll have a look at those. So when I've selected my leagues, I click OK, and you see in a flash only the games now that I want to look at, the leagues, are sorted. We can actually preset that when we build systems, but again we'll come to that later. That's just a simple way that you can go in and say, right, I want to look at that. So I look there, and I Lille and Marseille, and I've got all my stats up there. Valenciennes, Sheffield Wednesday versus Leicester. So it's all there, and I've filtered the coupon down. So rather than having 75 in-play games and a big coupon to go through, I've got the 18 games that I'm interested in today that I want to have a look at and see if there's any betting opportunities. So that's a basic interface of how you load a coupon up, and we can just filter it around and the information available to us. Very much an introduction to it. What can I then do with that for the next step? Great thing about Soccerstato, one of the great things, I can load the market prices now. So rather than having to click a game, go from site to site, I click market prices, and I've got all the markets for these games that are on Betfair that I want to look at. So if I want to look at match odds market, I click that, click add, and it's going to add the home away draw. And let's say perhaps those of you interested in over under 2.5 goals, I can click that and add that. So now I've got those two markets there. You can have the back odds, the lay odds, the back and lay odds. You can show traded volume. So let's click that and have a look and see how much money is actually in the markets. So we're going to go to the back odds only. I click OK. That has a quick progress report, quick processing. And now all of a sudden I've got the volume in the market. I've got the match odds for every game if I want to back any of these teams going down, and I can scroll across, and I've got the under 2 and 2.5 over 2.5. If I click that screen, the stats screens disappears just to give me a better view, so I can look at it just by clicking my show hide screen, and I can bring it back there if I wanted to. So everything there now from Betfair, accurate odds that are updated. Then we can see obviously the money game with the most money in is Crystal Palace versus West Ham here, 128,000 in the game, 3.35 on Palace, 2.46 on West Ham, 3.35 on the draw. If I wanted to look at that game as an example for over-unders, you can see it's exactly 50% for Crystal Palace, West Ham 44.56, as is typical in these type of markets. And if we look at the combined 47 and 53, there's not much in it. We can go to the prices. We've got 1.81, 2.22, slightly favouring the unders market. We can actually see from the stats that with the West Ham inclusion, it actually slightly favours overs over there. Now, I wouldn't use that as a betting criteria in itself, but it's just simple things that you can look at when you're considering having a bet for those people. A great feature then, we can click this button, which is odds and probabilities. So we've obviously got percentages here, and it turns your prices into the probability percentage so that you can compare. If you wanted to compare percentages up top right, then you can see what's going on. And this is just some of the very small things that it can do at an early stage for you when you load games up and want to look at things. So it's very, very simple to use, very clear to read. We've got the tabs here. So this is the goals market. We've got over-unders, goal after 7, clean sheets, failed to score goals in minutes. We've got a correct score market. So this shows you again, Crystal Palace at home. Only 5 games there have finished 0-0. 2 games have finished 1-0 to the away team, and that all reads down, and exactly the same on the right hand side for West Ham. We've got the league positions and rankings. So we've got a situation there, Palace in 19th, West Ham in 17th. That's what they've played home, 13 games, wins, draws, everything that we need. And the attack defence statistics, clean sheets, average goals scored, average goal times when they fail to score. Again, no diving around hundreds of sites, it's all there for you in one screen. We've got streaks, wins, draws, losses, when they scored first half, second half for both sides. You've got head-to-head information, what's happened in the last few matches between these two particular sides. I know a lot of people bet this way and use this information. Again, you can call it up straight away on your screen, not having a dive around Football 24, and you've got it at the venue and it tells you what it was in. So you've got Palace and West Ham there. The last time they played was actually in the Championship, not in the Premier League, and it was 2-2. So you can go back and see what's relevant and what isn't relevant to you. We've got the full-time, half-time, full-time results when it was a home win, draw, home and away. So you've got all that again there converted, how many times, percentages, head-to-head at venue. It's all there. And then you can actually have this area here, which we'll cover in a future video, where you can build your own statistics and your own markets that you're interested in looking at. So you can see here all the markets. This is a great feature there. I can just go and say, right, I want to have a look at the over under 3.5 goal market for this game off Betfair. I click that. Now I can't bet straight from here, but it brings it up for me, so that instantly then I can see the prices of any market in a single click and see what I want to do. So that doesn't really interest me. Let's have a look at the half-time, full-time. So I can call the market up. I can click my DR button there and I get the half-time, full-time percentages, and I can have a look at the prices that are currently available, whether there's any value, any money in anything that I want to do. And then when I don't finish with that, I just simply close that window. So this is a very brief introduction into the features on here. There is nothing like it, and as we go through the videos, we'll show you how to use this information for betting purposes, how to build systems, and the areas that you can look at and focus at, and some of the areas I look at when I'm using Soccerstato to get the most out of it.